At Thanksgiving, I found my photos torn in the trash as Mom sneered. No point keeping pictures of our biggest mistake. My brother mocked me, Aunt laughed about a betting pool, and Grandpa said, should have stopped at one kid. I took out their trash and left. Now they're outside my door at 2 a.m., begging through tears. Please answer. Don't destroy us. We're redecorating. No point keeping pictures of our biggest mistake. That's what my mom said out loud on Thanksgiving Day. She said it while passing me the mashed potatoes, as if it were the most normal sentence in the world. My brother Randy laughed loudly. Aunt Paula clapped her hands and said, well, someone had to say it. It took everything in me not to show a reaction. I just smiled and kept chewing. Because that comment, that sentence, that was my signal. That was the moment I'd been waiting for. I've been planning my revenge for 15 years. This Thanksgiving dinner was the final confirmation I needed. I'm 30 years old. I live in a modest condo here in Spokane Valley, and I work in tech consulting. Not flashy, but stable. I've spent over a decade building a life that looked successful enough from the outside, just enough to keep my family thinking they could use me when needed. And trust me, they did. They needed me plenty over the years, but they never valued me. Thanksgiving had always been painful, but I made the 6-hour drive every year anyway. I told myself it was what family does. But this time, I came with a different purpose. I needed to see, really see, how they saw me. And wow, they did not disappoint. When I got to my parents' house in Post Falls, Idaho, just across the Washington border, it felt strange. Lighter. Too clean. I carried my bag upstairs to the bedroom I grew up in. The one that used to have my name on a wooden plaque nailed to the door. That plaque was gone. The room was gutted. My bed? Gone. My bookshelves? Gone. My childhood trophies? My posters? My desk? All of it replaced with boxes, dusty furniture, and a plastic tub labeled Zmaz lights. It wasn't a bedroom anymore. It was storage. I just stood there, staring. My mom, Mildred, came up behind me and casually said, we needed the space. No point keeping a shrine for someone who only shows up twice a year. Shrine. That's how she described my childhood bedroom. Like I had died. I didn't say anything. Just nodded. Took my bag back downstairs. That's when I noticed something worse. The walls. Every family has those photo collages, right? Framed pictures from every vacation, birthday, graduation, lined up like a timeline. But mine? I was gone from it. Literally erased. Randy's high school graduation, front and center. Mina? Missing. The 2015 family beach trip, replaced by one from 2017 without me. Every picture that had my face in it, cropped, swapped, or gone entirely. I figured maybe they just moved them, or boxed them up. I found the truth an hour later when I took the trash out to the garage. There, in the garbage bin, were pieces of my face. Ripped photos, torn in half, dumped like old junk mail. My college graduation photo. Me and Randy as kids. Me with Grandpa Maddox at his 75th birthday. All shredded and tossed on top of eggshells and coffee grounds. That's when I knew they really saw me as trash. Dinner was surreal. Aunt Paula and her husband Lorenzo asked if I was still doing that computer thing or if I had a real job yet. I told them I managed 3 corporate accounts as a senior consultant. They laughed. Cute, Paula said. Randy just bought a boat. Now, that's a career. Mildred smiled like she agreed. But it was what came next that snapped something inside me. Randy raised his wine glass and said, let's give it up for Mom. She did a great job redecorating. Finally cleared out all the clutter. Paula said, what clutter? Randy looked straight at me and said, you know, the dead weight. All those pictures of people who don't contribute to the family. Everyone laughed. Real laughter. From their stomachs. Mildred nodded. We realized we were holding on to photos of our biggest mistake. Paula clapped again and said, speaking of which, betting pool's up to $400. Yeah, said Lorenzo. I've got Christmas in the pool. Figured he's too stubborn to take the hint before then. Randy grinned. I'm betting he shows up to every holiday for the next decade. He's too pathetic to build his own family. Then Grandpa Maddox raised his glass and said, should have stopped at one kid. Randy turned out great. This one was just bad luck. They all toasted. Except me. I sat there smiling. Because that was it. That was the moment I stopped being their safety net. They didn't know a few things about me. They didn't know I was legally on the deed to their house because I co-signed their mortgage when I was 19 and Dad's business was tanking. They didn't know I'd been secretly paying part of their mortgage for 8 years through an anonymous hardship program account I'd set up. They didn't know the client system Randy uses for his medical sales job was one I custom built for him and still control. They didn't know Paula and Lorenzo's retirement fund is managed through my company's finance network and that I had back-end admin access. They didn't know Grandpa's fancy assisted living suite was partly subsidized by a fund I created. They didn't know I was the reason their lives were still functional. Until now. So after dinner, I quietly washed my dish, tied up the trash bag, and said, "Taking out the trash." Randy laughed. Classic. I smiled and walked out. Got in my car. Drove the 6 hours back to Spokane Valley without a single tear. Not because I was numb, but because I was excited. They had finally said it, out loud, in front of each other, that I was nothing to them. Now, I could finally become nothing to them. Black Friday morning, while they were sleeping off the turkey, I was on the phone, canceling the mortgage contributions, shutting down Randy's client access, flagging the retirement account for irregularities, closing Grandpa's subsidy fund. Not angry, not crying, just cold, focused. I wasn't reacting. I was executing. Saturday evening, I got the first text from Mildred. "Made it home safe? Just checking in." Then Paula. "Were you upset about something? Lorenzo said you seemed quiet." Then Randy. "Mom's worried. You should call her." I didn't reply. By Sunday morning, they were outside my apartment. 6 a.m., pounding on the door, yelling my name, begging to talk. By 2 a.m. Monday morning, they were back again. All of them this time. Even Grandpa Maddox, who hasn't driven at night in years. Someone must have brought him. They were outside, sobbing, screaming. We were joking. "Please open the door. You're destroying us." And I just sat there, drinking coffee, watching from the peephole, listening. They still don't understand. This is just the beginning. Quick pause. What would you have done if your family said you were their biggest mistake at Thanksgiving dinner? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for part 2. It gets a lot darker from here. They think this is revenge, but this isn't revenge. Not yet. This is what I call the wake-up phase. The part where everything starts to unravel and they realize the support they took for granted was never guaranteed. By Monday afternoon, the panic had set in. Randy's text messages changed tone from passive-aggressive jokes to all-out begging. "Bro, if something's wrong, just tell me. Don't ruin everything over one dinner. I think the system you built me might be messed up. None of my contacts are working. I'll pay you whatever you want. Just fix it. Please, man. I can't afford to lose this job. My year-end bonuses are riding on December." I didn't respond because he wasn't sorry. He was just scared. Tuesday morning, I got a call at work. It was from Dawn, my assistant. Your brother is in the lobby." I blinked. "What?" "He's pacing. He's demanding to see you." I checked the time. 9:24 a.m. I was about to head into a client call, but this felt too good to miss. I told Dawn I'd be down in a minute. When I got to the lobby, Randy looked wrecked. His hair was a mess. His shirt untucked. He looked like he hadn't slept. The second he saw me, he rushed over. "Hey, man, look, I came here because I want to fix this." I just looked at him. Thanksgiving got out of hand. We were joking. You know that, right? Mom feels horrible. Do you? Of course. Come on, we're family. You don't really want to see everyone suffer just because of a misunderstanding. I leaned in. "Did you mean it?" "Mean what?" "What you said. That I'm too pathetic to build my own family. That I'll cling to this one because I have nothing else." He hesitated. "I mean, come on, man. It was just a joke." He nodded quickly. "You've been saying the same jokes since we were kids. But when we were kids, you told everyone I was adopted. That Mom and Dad didn't love me. That I was only around because you needed someone to blame stuff on. I was like 10. You can't still be holding on to that." I cut him off. "You said Wendy, your girlfriend, doesn't know me because I ruin your relationships. That I'm socially difficult. That I owe the family money." His face drained of color. "You told her I borrowed money and never paid it back. Okay, that may have been exaggerated. But she's gone now. She dumped me because of all this. I stared at him. You lied. For years. And you're surprised people are finally seeing through it. That afternoon, I got a Facebook message from Wendy. We'd never spoken before. She told me Randy had always made me sound like some angry, bitter, resentful loner. That I was unstable. That the family tolerated me out of pity. But after he told her I'd flipped out over Thanksgiving and she heard him panicking all weekend, she got suspicious. So she Googled me, saw my job, my LinkedIn, my company website. She said, nothing about you matched what Randy described. So we met for coffee. At a mall food court. Public, neutral, just in case. I showed her screenshots, bank statements, mortgage payments, a spreadsheet I kept of every dime I sent my parents over 8 years. She was stunned. Wait, you paid their mortgage? Yep. And they erased you from the family wall? I nodded. Randy said they supported you, that you were always a drain on everyone. I laughed. Of course he did. She leaned forward. He's a liar, and I'm done with him. That night, Randy lost it. He left voicemails screaming, crying, accusing me of turning Wendy against him, of destroying his career, of ruining the family. Then came Dad. First call in months. We need to talk. Do we? You made your point. Everyone's sorry, okay? You've punished them enough. But messing with Randy's job crosses a line. There it is. What? The line. Not being erased from the family. Not being mocked every holiday. Not being told I was a mistake. But when I mess with Randy's job, that's her line. Randy said you sabotaged his system. I stopped maintaining it. He never paid me for it. And he never told his company he was using it. You're going to tear down your whole family over feelings? No, over facts. Wednesday morning, I got another call. Grandpa Maddox. I blocked his cell, so he called from the assisted living facility's main office. There's been a mistake, he said. They're saying I owe money. No me stuck. I closed the subsidy fund. You what? You're covered by your veterans benefits. You'll be fine, just not in the upgraded suite. That's cruel. I'm 83 years old. You raised your glass and toasted that I shouldn't have been born. It was a joke. What's the punchline, Grandpa? He didn't answer. You'll regret this, he finally said. Maybe, but I doubt it. By the weekend, things got worse. Randy was suspended pending investigation at work. Paula and Lorenzo's retirement accounts were frozen for review. Mom and Dad received their first foreclosure warning. And me? I was in my apartment, lighting a candle, playing soft jazz, sipping coffee, reading a book. At peace. They still hadn't apologized. They'd cried, yelled, begged. But none of them said the words. They didn't say, we were wrong. You didn't deserve that. You mattered. They just said I was overreacting. So the demolition continues. Next up, legal action. Because I own part of that house. And I got documentation they don't even know exists. And when that house goes up for sale, they'll finally understand I was never the mistake. I was the foundation, and they knocked me loose. Ever been erased from your own family photos? Comment your story below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because part 3 is where the Real storm begins. By Saturday morning, they were all outside my door again. This time, it wasn't just Mildred and Randy. It was the full circus. Dad, Paula, Lorenzo, even Grandpa Maddox, hunched on a walker, huffing like someone had dragged him there against his will. 8 a.m. Knocking, pleading. Just open the door, Paula begged. We need to talk like adults, Dad added. You can't ignore your whole family forever, said Lorenzo. I didn't answer. Just turned up the volume on my phone and kept making breakfast. They stayed for almost 40 minutes. Then came the voicemails. All the same tone. You're tearing the family apart. We didn't mean any of it. You're ruining lives over a misunderstanding. The key word they kept using was you. Now we messed up. Now we're sorry. But you're reacting wrong. Monday morning, I got an email from a law firm in Coeur d'Alene. My parents had hired a lawyer. They were demanding I transfer my ownership share of the house back to them in exchange for forgiveness of past assistance. I forwarded it to my attorney. We'd already been prepping for this. His response, they're bluffing. And weekly. Turns out, I have 8 years' worth of wire transfers. Documents. Emails. Account statements. Records showing I believed I was contributing to a hardship program. Their lawyer either didn't know or didn't care. My attorney's response was firm. We will accept a full repayment of $62,340 in lieu of partial ownership, or we'll proceed with forcing a sale of the house. Deadline, 30 days. Tuesday, I opened the door, not to let them in, just to say it to their faces. Mildred stood with a folder in her hand, probably bank statements, as if now they were finally paying attention. We're willing to go to therapy. We'll talk to a counselor, if that's what it takes to fix this. Too late. You want therapy now? I said, after 30 years. We didn't know, she whispered. We didn't know you felt this way. You didn't want to know. They stood there silent. Grandpa looked uncomfortable. Lorenzo looked angry. Paula, she looked scared. I stepped aside and motioned to my coffee table. On it was a binder, neatly labeled tabs, a decade of documentation, every sarcastic birthday card, every email where they forgot to include me, every text thread where plans were made and I was excluded, every photo of me missing from family events I attended. You think this is about one dinner? I said, this is about a lifetime. That afternoon, I got a message from Ethan, a cousin I hadn't talked to in 5 years. Hey, just checking in. Heard things are rough. Paula called my mom. Said you're having a breakdown. There it was. The next phase, isolation. If they couldn't guilt me or threaten me, they'd turn the family against me. I told Ethan the truth. Sent him a couple screenshots. Some of the comments. A few of the deleted photos I'd scanned years ago before they were torn up. Ethan's reply, Jesus. Meanwhile, Randy was officially fired. His company determined he'd used unauthorized software to manage client info. The software I built. When they dug deeper, they found out he'd been claiming ownership of the system and storing private data on a personal server. He blamed me, of course, but he knew. He always knew I had access, that I could take it apart anytime I wanted. Wednesday, I got a call from Paula. She sounded frantic. The bank flagged our retirement account. They're saying something about verification failures. We can't access any of it. That sounds tough, I said flatly. Can't you just fix it? Nope. You know how. You work with these systems. I used to. Not anymore. Please, she whispered. We'll lose everything. Paula, I said, how much did you win from the betting pool? Silence. It was just a joke. Who else was in it? I don't remember. Maybe Ethan? Some cousins. Did you actually collect the money? Yes, for $100. But it was just enjoy it. That's the last money you'll get from me. That same night, Dad called. From a new number. I picked up. He didn't yell. Didn't threaten. He just said, you've made your point. But we raised you. We fed you. We clothed you. We sent you to college. I waited. Then I said, I paid for 8 years of your mortgage. That's not the same. No, it's more. You're our son. We expected better. You shouldn't have. You're going to make us homeless. Funny. You were fine making me invisible. Thursday, Grandpa Maddox had to move to a smaller unit. The facility called to say his upgraded suite was no longer covered. He's now sharing a bathroom and doesn't have access to daily social events. He called to guilt me. I fought in Vietnam. I'm your grandfather. You told me I was a mistake. It was a joke. You toasted to it. You'll regret this. I already regretted loving you. This part's easy. I hung up, blocked the facility. Friday morning, Randy tried to get into my apartment building again. Security called me. He was screaming in the lobby that I'd ruined his life, that I'd turned Wendy against him, that he had nothing left. I hope you're happy, he yelled to the ceiling. I was. They still don't get it. They're not sorry for what they did. They're sorry they're suffering now. That's not the same thing. You don't throw someone away for years, then panic when they stop taking your garbage. Have you ever been the scapegoat in your family? Did they ever try to gaslight you about it? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Part 4 is coming. It gets even colder. I didn't expect them to come back again after the retirement account froze. After Grandpa got bumped down to the basic unit. After Randy got canned. But Saturday morning, there they were. All of them. Standing outside my apartment door like some pathetic reunion tour. Mildred, Dad, Paula, Lorenzo, Randy, even Grandpa Maddox again. 8 o'clock sharp like they scheduled it. The same knock. The same tone. Just let us talk. This is serious now. We can fix this. They were trying the calm and reasonable tactic now. They thought soft voices would fix decades of disrespect. I didn't open the door, but I listened. Every word. Paula started. We called the bank. They won't unfreeze the retirement account without your authorization. Not true. They needed to verify a bunch of flag transfers I'd originally handled. It would take weeks. Then Lorenzo, we worked 40 years. You're jeopardizing our future over a Thanksgiving joke. A joke. Still, they called it a joke. Then came the kicker. Mildred started crying again. We got the notice. 90 days. If we can't catch up, we lose the house. She tried the guilt card. How could you do this to us? After everything we did for you. I opened the door. I didn't say a word at first. Just stared at them. They looked relieved, like they thought I was softening. Then I said, "You want to talk about who did what for who?" Dad stepped up. "We raised you. You erased me. That's not fair. We fed you, clothed you, supported you. I paid $62,000 of your mortgage. We didn't know that. You never asked." Then Paula tried the classic line. "This isn't about money. This is about family." I turned to her. "How much was in the betting pool again?" She flinched. "That wasn't serious. It was $400. You won, right?" Silence. "You don't understand. We didn't think you'd care. You didn't think I'd find out." Mildred sobbed louder. "What do you want from us? Just tell us. I'll say sorry 1,000 times. Is that what you want?" I looked her in the eye. "Do you mean it? Or do you just want me to pay your bills again?" "I mean it." "Then why did you call me your biggest mistake?" "I didn't mean it like that." "You meant it exactly like that." I was frustrated. I was trying to fit in with the joke. I didn't want to look like the emotional one. And now I'm the emotional one? Then Dad finally snapped. "Fine. Maybe we made mistakes, but you're being vindictive. You're blowing up the family over words. Words you said for 30 years. No one's perfect." "No, but some people are honest. You're not." That's when Paula's phone rang. She stepped aside to answer it. Came back in pale as chalk. The account review came back. "There are irregularities. We have to go to the bank. Now." Lorenzo looked like he got hit with a shovel. They left in a hurry. Mildred stayed behind a few seconds longer. "You're tearing this family apart." I nodded. "I'm just removing the rotten support beams. You built it wrong." After they left, I went back to my laptop. My lawyer had responded to their counteroffer. They wanted me to drop the debt and give back my share of the house. My attorney sent them a very clean, very final message. Full repayment or for sale. 30 days. I wasn't bluffing. Monday, the ripple effects kept spreading. I got another call from Grandpa's facility. They had to downgrade his care package again. No more private nurse hours. Just standard meals. Shared restroom. He called me again. Said I was cold. That this wasn't Christian. That I'd regret leaving an old man to suffer. I reminded him he toasted to my non-existence. "That was a joke," he said. "What was the punchline?" "I don't know." Then maybe it wasn't funny. Tuesday, when he sent me another message. Said, "Randy tried to spin the breakup like I brainwashed her. But she said something that stuck with me. I feel like I was dating a fiction. Every time I saw something off, he blamed you. Now I know it was always him." She didn't need to say more. Then came the best part. Wednesday afternoon, I got an alert. The house was officially flagged for pre-foreclosure. That means the 30-day clock is ticking. Unless they pay me back, the house goes on the market. I'm not doing it out of spite. I'm doing it because it's mine. Legally, financially, emotionally. I built the foundation they danced on while mocking me. And now I'm lifting it out from under them. One brick at a time. If your family ever made you feel like an outsider, tell me one thing you wish they understood. Drop it in the comments. Part 5 is the final chapter, and it's going to be ruthless. It ends on a Thursday. The whole thing, 15 years of planning, decades of emotional games, lies, and silence, comes crashing down in the most poetic, karmic, and oddly peaceful way imaginable. And they never even saw it coming. Thursday morning, 7:02 a.m. I'm in my kitchen, frying eggs, when I hear the pounding on the door again. I already know who it is. I pour my coffee, set down my plate, and open the door. There they are. All of them. Mildred, Dad, Randy, Paula, Lorenzo, Grandpa Maddox. Standing there like the Walking Dead. Pale, drained, hope clinging to their faces like dust on glass. This time they don't shout. This time they beg. "We'll go to therapy. We'll fix this. We'll acknowledge everything. We swear." I'll let them inside. No talking. Not yet. I point them to the living room and let them sit down. It's quiet, tense. Then I bring out the binder, the one with the records. I place it on a coffee table like it's a legal exhibit. You want to fix this? I say. You need to understand what you broke first. Mildred starts crying before she even opens it. Inside are 20 tabs, each labeled by year. Notes, screenshots, photos, statements, voicemails, transcripts. You kept all of this? She whispers. Yes, because I knew someday you'd try to rewrite it all. Dad stares at the binder like it's radioactive. This is twisted, he mutters. You've been waiting to ambush us. No, I say. I was waiting for the truth. You finally gave it to me at Thanksgiving. Then Paula makes the mistake of speaking. You're acting like we abused you. We didn't abuse you. You were just sensitive. Always were. I nod. You're right. I was sensitive. That's why you targeted me. No, we teased everyone. That's what families do. No, you teased me. You celebrated everyone else. I opened the binder to the 2011 tab. Show her the text chain where they planned a family cruise and explicitly said not to invite me because I bring the vibe down. Mildred gasps. I didn't know about this. You were on the thread. Randy leans forward. Okay, you've proven your point. We were wrong, but you've destroyed everything. My job, their retirement, Grandpa's housing. You destroyed it. I just stopped holding it up. I'm your brother. You said I was pathetic, that I'd cling to this family because I couldn't make one of my own. I was joking. What's the punchline, Randy? He doesn't answer. That's when Mildred drops the final plea. Just tell us what you want. Please. I stare at her for a long time. Then I say the thing I've waited half my life to say. I want to be free of you. That's it, she whispers. No, I also want the $62,000 you owe me. Or the house gets sold. Your lawyer has the paperwork. Dad finally breaks. You little snake, he hisses. You manipulated us for years. I supported you, quietly, while you called me a mistake. You always had an attitude, even as a kid. That's because I knew you didn't love me. You're wrong, Mildred says. No, I'm not. I look her straight in the eyes. You loved Randy. You tolerated me. Then Grandpa stands up. Slow, shaky. You'll regret this. Family is all you have. No, family is supposed to be who shows up when you're down, not who pushes you there and then laughs. I raised you, and you erased me. They leave one by one, silent, pale, defeated. Mildred is last. Please, please don't sell the house. I won't, if you pay me back. We don't have it. Then you don't have the house. 3 weeks later, the house hits the market. They try to stall with a new lawyer. It doesn't work. The paperwork is airtight. Every dollar tracked. Every deed signed. The house sells in 43 days. I take my portion and donate $10,000 of it to a Spokane Valley youth shelter. Kids who get thrown away like I was. Randy never gets another sales job. His old boss flagged him as a data liability. Word spreads. He's working part-time stocking shelves at a pharmacy now. When he moved to Oregon, sent me a Christmas card. Just 3 words inside. You were right. Paula and Lorenzo had to cash out early from what was left of their retirement fund. Downsized to a 2-bedroom condo. Still waiting on a fraud review they can't explain to the IRS. Grandpa Maddox? He's now in a shared facility covered by basic veteran benefits. No private room. No hobby programs. Just the essentials. Me? I'm still in my apartment. Still working. Still free. No more mystery birthdays. No more toxic Thanksgivings. No more pretending to belong. For the first time in my life, I'm not the mistake. I'm the architect. They wanted me erased. Instead, I erased their illusion. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't fire and fury. It's silence. It's leverage. It's walking away with the thing they could never understand. Peace. Have you ever had to walk away from toxic family? How'd it feel? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this story hit home, like and subscribe for more. You're not alone.